finally on the road again after a couple of good days in Riccione. We're traveling because today is a pretty big day. Wouldn't you say so, Ian?
Big day, how so?
If you've forgotten your anniversary, you're going to be in trouble.
It's a big day. My beautiful wife, Lindy, happy anniversary, 8 great years. Thanks for letting me come to Italy for a month.
Where are we going today, Michael?
I honestly don't know. I just got out of the van and was told to get on my bike. I feel like a pro cyclist again. Where are we going?
We're going to the home of Fausto Coppi. Il Campionissimo. Is that how you say it, Andrea?
Campionissimo. We're riding up Castellania.
Casa de Coppi. We're gonna go check out the house of the most revered Italian cyclist of all time. And then Coppi, who are you? You're a Bartali fan?
Oh, is there a rivalry?
I forgot you. You don't drink. You don't drink coffee. Just like a Bartali fan.
I like Gino. He's like a good guy.
We are in Castellania, the hometown of Fausto Coppi, the Campionissimo, possibly one of the best, if not the best, cyclist of all time. This is where he was born and where he's now come together with his brother, Serse Coppi. He passed away as well during a Gran Piemonte Cup, so a pro race in near Torino. He crashed and a few hours later he just passed away. Anyway, so this is the memorial that was built in the 60s, and just down there is his hometown, his own village, very small place.
He won Paris-Roubaix, multiple wins in Milan-San Remo and Lombardia, and in the middle of his career was World War II, so there are so many blank pages where he could not even race a bike.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about being here at the memorial to him, seeing the place where he was born and where he's now buried, is you really get a sense for the countryside that spawned such a great cyclist. Riding up here was a challenge in and of itself, and you also just see the incredible beauty and the incredible roads. I mean, riding here is, I don't know, one of the best rides we've done in Italy, but they're all great. It's just, yeah, incredible.
Yeah, it's a magical place to ride, and honestly, it doesn't feel that different probably than when Coppi was riding these roads 60 years ago.
Yeah, we are going to head down to Nova Ligure where the museum to Fausto Coppi is and learn more about him and his place in the sport and what he means to Italy.
These are still in his early career, so when the bikes was not a custom made, but still studying a lot.
Sì, e le maglie sono solamente in Fausto.
The jerseys are in Fausto's.
Tour de France come Italia, come squadra.
Tour de France, when we won the Tour de France with national team.
Maglia campione del mondo, maglia fiammista, maglia gialla sempre. Una cosina importantissima.
Because everything started with him riding from here down to the field and back up with his bike when he was 10 years old kid.
This is his trainer cave.
Yeah, that's all. I used before the 40s, so this the standard Italia derailleur and the wooden wheels. Because all the roads were not paved, they were all strade bianche, gravel. So basically it's a gravel bike.
How do those work in the rain? How do those work in the rain?
Well, I don't know really, I haven't tried, but I'm sure they know really well, but you know how he won the world record? So when the war basically was on, he was military, he was doing his military service not far from here in Italy. So one day he just had for a day off. He came back here without training, it was probably a year without off the bike. He got on his track bike, he went to the Vigo Rally, which is the velodrome here in Milano. And that day he set up the world record without any training, and that record for 12 years. His bike used that day is at the Gizano Museum. You probably saw it last year. From that day, this is the helmet he used and the original.
Questa è una delle sue bici per correre su pista, scatto senza freni. E qui abbiamo le camere dove dormiva il resto della famiglia, quindi quegli zii, ma quella è la camera dei genitori e delle figlie.
You know how this works, right? I mean, to change gear with this, you have to take the wheel off. And,
non era semplice, però era già un passo avanti. Allora, 3 modelli campagnoli, un simple e poi la tecnologia.
No better way to end your ride than with a couple of doggos. What's up, puppers? Hey. Yeah.
What's up with it must be near the mountains, the altitude. If Viviani isn't motivated by the fact that the team boss has showed up at this Giro d'Italia, perhaps the Italian national champion can be motivated by the fact that tomorrow's stage finishes here in Novi Ligure, where we stand right now at the hometown of perhaps Italy's greatest cyclist of all time, Il Campionissimo Fausto Coppi. We got here and rode up to the village in which Fausto Coppi was born today, Castelliana, and it was an incredible moment. We saw the memorial, we saw the house that he was born in, we saw the actual bed he was born on. Really cool, and the roads around here are fantastic for riding. You can see why Coppi, who commuted every day from his home down the mountain here to Novi to work as a grocer and back, became a champion cyclist. What was one of the favorite stories that you learned today visiting his birthplace?
Well, the old story of Fausto Coppi and his rival Gino Bartali, these were of course the two great cyclists of the time. There was a lot of hype in the media. The media was always playing these two rivals against each other, but learning that the two were actually very good friends off the bike and on the bike was a really nice treat. And we got to see a picture of this painting that is so famous in cycling of Coppi reaching back to, nobody knows, there's a water bottle being changed hands between Fausto Coppi and Gino Bartali, and their arguments on either side, whether Bartali was giving Coppi the water or vice versa. That is how petty this little rivalry has been played up. But the two were very good friends, and I think that either one would give the other a water bottle in a race, and that was a nice thing to learn.
Yeah, of course these two were teammates. They raced on the Italian national team together back when the Tour de France was made up of national teams. And you know, this rivalry I think was something that was more of a generational divide in Italy rather than a rivalry between the actual two racers. Bartali, of course, was the devout Catholic, the more conservative person, and Coppi was a bit of a modern day millennial. He was a bit against the grain. He was not super religious. He actually had a mistress, which was quite the scandal during the 1950s. And yeah, you know, younger generations were very for Coppi. Well, you know, the older people like myself were much more in the Bartali camp. My favorite story from the day, or I guess the most poignant story, but also an incredibly tragic and sad story, I'm gonna try to tell this without getting emotional, was the story of Coppi and his brother Serse. This was his younger brother, 4 years younger than Fausto. The two actually raced together on the same team, and Serse was a great racer in his own right. Also a much more playful person. He was known as the clown. Fausto would come home and have dinner and go to sleep after training, while Serse was known for going out, having a good time. And Serse's you know, personality, his familiarity with the public also made him the perfect person to be Fausto's manager, and he actually played that role throughout his career. Serse, of course, tragically died in a crash at the Giro del Piemonte when he was only 28 years old. He hit his head and suffered an aneurysm, and he actually passed away in Fausto's arms. The two are actually reside side by side together at the top of the hill in Castellania. And yeah, I mean, seeing them together once again is just a really moving part of the story about Fausto and his brother, and a lot of the memorabilia, a lot of the stories about Fausto in his hometown are right there alongside his brother Serse.
Yeah, it is a truly touching story and very tragic. I personally am very glad that we do live in the time of helmets now, because that is, you know, avoidable in modern day. But just being in Piedmont and getting to ride the roads that the Coppis rode is truly magical. And we are now in the Gavi wine region, surrounded by some of the most famous grapes for white wine. And I think that we have a really special few stages on tap this week at the Giro d'Italia.
Yeah, it is going to get incredibly hard after tomorrow's sprint stage, so definitely stay tuned for stages 13, 14, and 15 before the next rest day, and we will see you tomorrow for our recap.
We'll see you there.